What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of Put a Ring on It. We are back with Catherine and Ricky. Catherine is disagreeing with Ricky's narrative of never having the opportunity to miss her when she has encouraged him to do things on his own. That does give him the opportunity to miss her. But at the same point in time, Catherine, don't expect for him to do it. Show it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get stuck being in this available role of watching the kids, taking the kids, being there for the kids. Because obviously, Ricky and his sisters do whatever they want to do without stopping, without having anything to hold them back because you're taking on their responsibilities of watching their children. And Ricky, I don't know. I don't know what Ricky told you when it came down to you moving from Dallas to Atlanta when you don't have a support system, you don't have any friends, and you're in one home with him. Did he tell you it was only going to be a temporary solution and end up being there longer than it should be? Like, that's the one thing that I want to understand. Dr. Stacy wanted Catherine to listen to what Ricky wants, but she is so quick to say, that's not true, that's not true. I mean, a part of me is kind of like, Ricky's never said nothing before. So she thought that at some point they would have conversations about what they want, but Ricky hasn't said anything. And she feels blindsided to hear that Ricky wants to spend time away from her in order to miss her, but she never knew that. And it's scary to feel blindsided in a relationship that you thought you could see a future with. I said, yeah, because Ricky never thought that way with you. Ricky never thought that far when it came down to a future with you. I feel like Ricky and Catherine must have felt like they were alone for a certain period of time, got reconnected, wanted to see if this could be a relationship. Turns out it wasn't. Ricky took advantage of Catherine. Catherine thought she was moving forward with a full blown relationship. Turns out she got stuck being a living babysitter where she never thought that she could find a way to balance that by having her own hobby, getting her own place, her getting a job. She just probably felt like she had to step into the role of being there for Ricky and his children and maybe making sure the family likes her. So she stepped in to be a babysitter for his sister's kids, but it backfired on her. You know what I'm saying? She's not getting what she needs done in the relationship. She's never felt like a girlfriend. In the 2 years she's been with Ricky, the romantic department has to be consistent. So it's kind of like, what were you there for? What were you there for? You know what I'm saying? So it's a yes to a second date with Marcus. It's an obvious yes to a third date with Sheila. There's another twist. All of their dates and all of the partners will be at the same location as their other partners. Now, the purpose of this is to test their self control, have confidence, and self confidence to trust their partners and not confront them on their date. Stay engaging with the date that you came in with. Ricky and Catherine getting ready for their date. Catherine is excited about her date with Marcus. Marcus wasn't surprised that he got a second date. They connected so well. As soon as Marcus came into the room, Catherine was all smiles, ignored Ricky like he wasn't even there. And I don't think Ricky cared because he's so happy about his date with Sheila. Moving on. Jasmine and Zay. Pretty much just talking about how Zay was able to remember all the things from his first date. Remembered how many kids she had, where she lived, what are her hobbies. But yet, in 3 years, you haven't listened to Jasmine. You've ignored her feelings about your friend who threatened to hit her. So she's like wondering, how did you listen to a stranger and you haven't listened to me? I've been your girlfriend for 3 years. In a nutshell, he does listen to her. He just doesn't reply all the time. I don't got time for me to always ask you questions and you want to give me I'm gonna hit you back with an answer. Like, no. If I have a conversation I want to talk to you about, I will expect an answer. You could communicate that you probably having a hard time coming up with the words, but you are listening to me, you are hearing how this is making me feel, and you're valuing what I'm saying. That's not what Zay does. Zay shuts down when it comes to any hard questions coming at him because I don't think he can handle having to think that hard. Yeah, this is not going to go good. So Catherine, she is hoping to have a good time with Marcus. They connected so well, and there's no boundaries since Ricky didn't have any boundaries when it came down to Sheila. And between Marcus and Catherine, the chemistry is like, whoa. Have y'all been texting each other from y'all first date? Because it was kind of like no time had passed. Y'all look like y'all a couple. Like they really make a really good looking couple. They look like they belong together. There was touchy feely all over the place, and it wasn't forced. It wasn't uncomfortable. Catherine was receiving all the PDA, was here for it. So Ricky and Sheila, they meet up. I don't know where Sheila thought she was going, but she was a little overdressed for me. And she's very excited about her third day with Ricky. So Marcus and Catherine are having a conversation on what they want in a partner. They want to establish their careers. And Marcus cannot help but tell Catherine how beautiful she is. He said so many times on their first date. And she's loving the energy. He has his hand on her knee. And she doesn't get this type of attention all the time. So the fact that Marcus is showing so much PDA on the second day is exactly what she's been missing from Ricky. That energy, that that want to feel desired, feel appreciated, feel beautiful, feel complimented. She don't get that from Ricky. She don't get that at all. And I'm just kind of like, how in 2 years that you have received any form of love, if the romantic department hasn't been good, how did Ricky get you the first time? How was y'all date night? Like, how did y'all get involved with each other this time around if he hasn't shown any part of that in the last 2 years? So Ricky and Sheila have the lane next to them, and Ricky is feeling away about how touchy-feely Marcus is with Catherine, and she's just allowing it, and he's feeling like that disrespectful. Was it also disrespectful when you decide to accept food off of Sheila's fork? You wanted an intimate moment with Sheila from the beginning, so you can miss me with that. Ricky, miss me. Joshua and Joya, they have a double date workout. You know, she got her fire red outfit on, and Brittany was a little surprised that she did get a second date. She heard that his girlfriend was a little bit extra. When Brittany came in, she noticed that Joy was wearing a workout outfit like her. She said, "Oh, where are you going?" She said, "I'm coming with you." So they're just talking back and forth with each other in a high pitched tone. It was giving cat ram, like cat fight energy. That's what it was. So Jasmine and Zay, they're getting ready for their day. Zay's wearing a suit. He's never wore a suit since the funeral. So it's like, who you trying to impress? And hoping that they will enjoy the process. His day came in. Her name is Naya. She's 31, an entrepreneur. She was very beautiful. I loved her hair and makeup. As soon as she walked in the door, Zay instantly complimented how beautiful she looked. I mean, he just kept saying it. Like no disrespect to you, Jasmine, but she is very, very pretty. You might want to ante up your looks. Again, she said, I wanted to slap him across the room. First, you want to brag about taking a girl out on your bike or your Benz, doing too much. Now, you're bragging about your date's look in front of me and telling me I need to ante up my looks as if I'm not beautiful. Yeah, this man Zay was disrespectful. Like, how do you look down upon your own girl's looks in front of another woman? Like, that's what I want to know, Jasmine. How, from the first date in Cancun, he got an Instagram girl's name and you forgave him? And it's been 3 years and we've seen him acting ass in the last 2 dates? What other qualities does Zay have and possess that causes you to still see something enduring, still see something potential in him if he does this without thinking? Because Zay does not think. Does he do it for the funny factor? Does he do it for a reaction? Why does he do this? I would love to know. And then he always says, I look for ways to not say the wrong thing, but I end up saying the wrong thing. I said, he don't think before he speaks. There it is. So when he walks in a restaurant with his date, you know, he tells Naya how special Jasmine is to him. And the problem is he's not communicative. It's not consistent. Then we meet Jasmine's date. His name is Sean Carter. He's originally from Columbia, South Carolina. He's 37 and a network engineer. He didn't look 37. He looked like a solid 30 because he has a baby face, very young. And he had flowers waiting for Jasmine. She was very thankful for the flowers, and she's ignoring Zay throughout this whole date based off what he said earlier. Like, she ain't gonna ever let that go. So, in the restaurant, I think Naya was asking him a question, but he couldn't answer it because he was speechless as soon as Jasmine and Sean walked in. And he zoomed in on where they were sitting and just kept on leering over to hear what they were saying, because he's like, how am I supposed to continue on my date if I see my woman across the room with another man? That's the whole point. That's the point of the date, to have self-control, trust your partner, and not act a fool. But again, he was zoning in on their conversation. They both talk about where they're from. She's from Brooklyn. He's from South Carolina. He said he woke up wanting a girl from the north and that he likes his woman to be a little bit aggressive. So back with Zay and his date, they're just having like fluff conversations about how does a spicy margarita taste like, or how do you make a spicy margarita, what makes it spicy. Not really nothing of interest, of intellect, nothing really. On Jasmine and her date, both her and Sean are talking about traveling, where they like to travel. He likes to travel to Monaco. Then back with his date, he's stuck. He can't function because he says, I want to focus on my date, but I want to know what's going over there. But I got to bite my tongue. Obviously. For real. So Ricky was feeling away that Catherine was receiving a lot of PDA from Marcus, and she was asking him how does it make him feel. So he's trying to play it off like it's cool, it's cool. I'm not bothered by it. I mean, we got a bond that nobody can break. We got a bond of 10 years of friendship. That's a 10-year friendship, not a relationship. And you trying to act all cool as if you're not bothered. You bothered. Just speak your mind. Say how you feeling. So just over talking about how he trusts her and you have to put trust in the relationship, have a good time. But Sheila is telling him, but that's your girl though at the end of the day. That's the one you want to marry, right? So we want to feel acknowledged of every little thing that we do, feel appreciated. And if we don't get it, we tend to question ourselves about should we stay in the relationship if we're not getting recognition or appreciation. So talks about doing things the right way, and Sheila practically opened up with, you can try it out with me first, i.e., you're not moving forward with Catherine, move over with Sheila, which is what you want to do. But I feel like you want Catherine to make the move first so you can be the innocent guy in all of this. So enjoying all the attention she's getting from Marcus. Like, there's no time to waste. You know what I'm saying? She's feeling like she's a prize. And this man wants to win this prize, and I'm not going to stop. When a man wants something, he's going to go after it. He's going to take action. That's what he's going to want to do. Then, going back and forth with why Marcus is single, and her main priority is family, but she has to find time for intimacy, which was a surprise to Marcus. You have to find time for intimacy? Yes, she does. She's in a house full of people where there's not a lot of time for them to be alone. So yes, if they were in their own apartment, it wouldn't be this difficult for her to find alone time with Ricky, but they're not. And of course, it's moments like this where she wishes Ricky would step up and make her feel special. Tell her she's beautiful, give her intimacy, like rubbing her hands on her thighs, making her feel pretty. And he don't do that. Complimenting me. Marcus said that's easy work. It shouldn't be hard to make a woman feel special. It shouldn't be hard for a man to show how much he likes a girl, show how much he wants to be around her. Give that PDA, you know what I'm saying? And Catherine hasn't gotten that from Ricky. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just want to know how, in 2 years, what was the romance like? Because if you've never felt like a girlfriend, Ricky has never given you the action that he wants intimacy, or he wants to showcase different types of intimacy, making you feel special, giving you flowers. When? When was that? It just gave off. You guys just try it out to be in a relationship and it didn't work. It didn't work. And he's asking her, how long do you plan on enduring this? How many years do you plan on staying in a relationship where you don't feel recognized, you don't feel like a priority, you don't feel special? How long? And you pretty much hit the nail on the head. How long are you going to tolerate this? Because based off of what you haven't received, you received everything you're supposed to receive from Marcus within 2 dates, versus then what you have never received from Ricky in 2 years. Like, man, come on. If he Ricky will only put effort into something that he wants to put effort in. He doesn't want to put effort into making changes to make Catherine feel happy, feel special. He doesn't want to. So she enjoyed her day with Marcus. It definitely showed her that there is someone out there for her. And she can definitely see something happen between her and Marcus, that they could have something. Have y'all been texting each other throughout the first date? Because I swear, the way that you guys were laughing and talking and touching, y'all are like a real couple. Because Ricky and Catherine don't match, but you guys match. And don't settle for what you're not receiving. Don't settle what you do not deserve. You do not deserve to be treated like a doormat, treated like a living babysitter. You deserve to be treated with respect and love and courtesy and romance. You all of that. Oh Lord. So back with Jasmine and her date, pretty much opened up. No, wait, who? No, Jasmine and her date, and Naya and Zay. Naya opened up with how she's attracted to Zay, what is attractive about him, and that she's enjoying herself but trying to get his attention because he is so concerned about what's going on there with Jasmine, and he's just not vibing with his day at all. It's not going good. So Sean talks about he wants a woman that can help him be grounded, reel him off if he was off the deep end, but reel him back in respectfully, because that's the key word. If your partner disrespects you and you're trying to calm them down, even though what they wanted was to get you to calm down, is the words that they use, that could be very hard to forgive. The disrespect that you chose to take, the disrespect you chose to show me when trying to get me to calm down, I didn't like it. I didn't like the words that you used. It made me feel the way. It hurt my feelings. So it's recognized that he is not really into his date at all. That's why she mentioned being attracted to him so he can pay attention. The situation is very awkward, but then he wanted to, be smart and say, how would you feel if your significant other was across the room? She said, yeah, that's why I was trying to get you to not focus on that, because I noticed when she was back there. I noticed when she was back there. Now, as soon as she mentioned Jasmine in a she term, oh, Zay had a problem. He corrected her right then and there. He said, she's not a she. Her name is Jasmine. That's my woman. Do not disrespect her. Her name is Jasmine. I was like, oh, wow. Really? She said, oh, my bad. That's my woman. I said, it's funny how you can check another woman referring to Jasmine as her versus then you not correcting your friend who threatened to slap her. Make that make sense for me, though, because her saying her is nothing disrespectful, because she don't know Jasmine. I know she was back there. I mean, she just met her, but you've known your friend for a very long time, and he had the audacity to threaten someone who you are supposed to care about. Like, that's my woman, to disrespect her. Zay, please. How you have so much gumption and so much, snap towards a woman, not treating your woman correctly, but you can't give the same energy to a man who threatened to hit your woman? Alright, sure, moving on. So to me, at that moment, Zay, it shows you don't respect women and your friends don't respect women. Because how can you have so much to say to another woman, not saying Jasmine by her actual name, but you can't hold the same energy to another man who verbally threatened to hit her? Got you. Then we get Sean. Sean talks about how he only eats certain foods. He doesn't like seafood because his family has a history of hypertension and cardiac issues on his mother's side of the family. Then he threw out there that that's what killed his mother in 2018. And she died in his apartment on his birthday. I said, wow, wow, wow. Then Jasmine can relate to losing a parent because she said that her father passed away in June. Sean also mentioned that he lost his father in the pandemic. So he's had quite a lot of losses in the recent years. So wondering, how does he deal with that? That's what Jasmine said. How do you go to that moment where you miss them? He pretty much says they will always be there for you. They're with your ancestors. Kind of like have simple conversations with them. Like they're right there in front of you because they've never left you. Which is very nice and very bleh. That right there, Zay, shows you don't respect women. And your friends definitely don't respect women. The fact that you can hold so much energy to snap at Naya for referring Jasmine as she, but you didn't give the same energy to your friend who wanted to hit Jasmine. Make it make sense for me. So it definitely goes back to my original thought from my other reviews. You co-signing your friend's bullshit. Period. Moving on from that, Sean talks about how he only eats certain food because on his mother's side of the family, they have hypertension and cardiac issues. Then he threw out that he lost his mom due to cardiac issues and hypertension in 2018. And she died in his apartment on his birthday. That's sad. Jasmine could relate to losing a parent because she said she lost her father in June. Another parent that he lost his father in the pandemic. So the fact that he's had double losses in recent years, I'm wondering, how does he have this upbeat attitude? How does he be so happy? Which led to Jasmine asking him, how do you go about missing your mother? What do you do when you get to that moment where you miss her? He just says, I pretty much just have conversations with her because I know that she's there. She's with my ancestors, like your father's with your ancestors. And they have a lot in common. And that was like a beautiful moment that they shared. I enjoyed that. Let's move on to Joshua. Joshua is excited about going on his second date with Brittany. He wants to get to know her a little more. But of course, knowing that Brittany might be a little bit too much, she might be a little bit too touchy-feely, we're going to see how Joya is going to go about looking at it or dealing with it in a way. Joy talks about how she's excited about her date with Jacoby. She's walking in, ready to have a good time, but then she sees Brittany in a sumo squat pose and Joshua behind her, which makes Joy feel away about it. But I'm just looking at Joshua and Joy's behavior. Y'all trying to play a game of trying to see who's going to get jealous first, who's going to have an issue first, because Joya, you only wanted a second date with Jacoby to make Joshua feel away because he had a good time with Brittany. Keep it a buck. So, when they met and they saw each other, Joya and Joshua shared a kiss. Should they have done that? I mean, we all know that they were going on the same date at the same location, but I don't think that it should have been so obvious that they were at the same place. Or you see, where I'm trying to go with it is, why couldn't they go to their original corners? Why did Josh and Joya have to share a kiss in that moment as if we didn't know you guys were in a relationship? That means that you guys are playing a game. Like, is that against the rules? The purpose was for you to stay engaged with your date, not to even at some point give your partner a kiss when you're about to go on another date with someone. I didn't like that energy. I didn't agree with that. So Brittany even felt a way that Joy was lingering around and like, girl, we get it, that's your man, but we on a date, so go over there with your date. And this is where I'm getting annoyed because seeing that Joya felt the way about Joshua behind Brittany doing a sumo squat, we see Joya doing stretches where she's like literally spread eagle. And Jacoby makes a comment about, I can see why Joshua stayed for 2 years because it shows how flexible Joya is. And it's like this man's mind is always on sex. I'm still stuck on Joya. Why did this man get a second date if all y'all talked about was sex? He didn't have nothing else to offer. And the first thing he gonna mention is, I can see why you've been in a relationship with 2 years with this girl because look how flexible she is. In his mind, he's thinking about all the positions that probably has occurred between her and Joshua and all the positions he can't wait to put her in because of how flexible she is. And it's like, no. That doesn't work. Then it became a competition between Joshua and Jacoby because he's making comments and Joshua wasn't feeling disrespect that he was doing because he was being too obnoxious about where he's at with Joy. You know, saying, oh, this your girl, right? But she with me, though. Like, it's doing too much of that. Like, he's being an asshole. And, of course, Joy is feeling away. It's like, why y'all having a competition? You supposed to be paying attention to me, not him. Period. So Joshua and Brittany have a deep conversation about what it means to love someone. It could mean to the point where you love someone so much but you can't give them what they're asking for. You might have to let them go. Which could be a sentiment about what is going on between Joshua and Joya. Because that is something hard to realize. You can love someone until you can't love them anymore. But there are some things you just can't give to that person. You have to let them know so they can be free and find someone who will give them what they're asking for. And he's telling Brittany that Joy and him are not on the same page as far as wanting children and getting married. They're at different stages. He doesn't want any more children. So he's talking about compromising. And he's thinking about how would Joya feel if there wasn't any more children in their future. And the way that their life is set up now, they both have children. So why should we figure out how to have our own children when we already came in a situation with children? I.e., he don't want to have any more kids. I think that Joshua is comfortable with his situation with his ex-wife and the fact that he does have a relationship with his daughter, but he's not there on a day-to-day basis because his wife is remarried. So she has a stable home. She has stability. And right now, Joshua is in fear of not giving that same stability to Joya in her situation. While he probably has a good relationship with her son, but he does have a father. But he's worried about having their own children to give them that stability. That could be a fear, but it could also be Joshua don't want to stop where his life is. Having the ability to pretty much go when they want to go, travel where they want to travel without having any pause, and do things together. He doesn't want to rock the boat by adding a baby in that situation. And that's where his life is. He's done having kids. He's ready to live his life. And he doesn't want to have to think that if Joy doesn't understand that, then it could be over. Well, Joy needs to also understand that as well. If this man's who you want to be with, but he's not at that point where he wants to have any more children, what do you want to do? Do you see a future with anyone else? Do you want to start over? Or will you accept not having any children? But she said having children is a non-negotiable. That's a deal breaker for me. I want more kids. So after that, Brittany is already being touchy-feely, trying to get his mind off things. He's accepting it, but he doesn't want to think about the possibility that Joy might walk away from the relationship if he doesn't want to have any more children. Because they might not have any more. Because he doesn't want any. She wants to get married and have more children. They need to come together and realize, I can't give you what you want, but I want you. And she said, I love you, but I can't get over this. So y'all going to have to figure that out. Then we get to Jacoby. I think it was a question of have he ever dated a woman with children? He did when he was young. He was 22. He dated a cougar. Okay. Then he shot himself in the foot at this moment when he realized that he wouldn't come first in the relationship, knowing that the child is first priority. And in his experience, he dealt with a child coming at him saying that you're not my father. So at that moment, it turned off Joya. So she said, you can have your preference of not dating women with children. I get that. But don't have a negative experience of dating women with children while you're on a date with a woman who has children. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he's coming across with a negative experience of being with women with children, it turned off a third date. It should have been turned off a second date. So to me, he already knows he don't want to put an effort of trying to help another woman out when she has children, knowing that all the things that she has to do to still have a life while being a mother. So the fact that he's looking at where his life is set up, where he has the ability to go where he pleases, he don't see a woman with children on his radar. Then he mentioned, that if they want to have a trip, he would get annoyed that the woman wouldn't automatically just get up and go because she has to figure out who's going to watch her son. And he doesn't like that. He doesn't understand that. So you're now looking down upon a woman who has children, that she has to get things in order for her to leave, for her to do things. And you don't like that. So again, Jacoby don't want to become second in the relationship. He wants everything to be on his time. He wants to be able to get up and go. Then why seek out a relationship with a woman with children? What you thought? That she was going to have it all figured out? That she has a baby daddy that will automatically come and get the kids and have a simple situation? No. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't always come across as a man and a woman who does have children. They have a camaraderie where they have their life and I don't interfere with your life, but we come together for the kids. No. Because we don't know how Joy's situation was with the father of her child. We don't know how long it took for them to get to this point where she can now feel comfortable going places and that her son is in good care. And that's what happens when you are a parent. You have to trust who you are leaving your kids with. And if she doesn't trust who she's leaving her kid with, she ain't going nowhere. And you're not going to understand that when it comes to being with a woman with children, dating a woman with children. Don't seek out a woman with children if you're not going to understand all the sacrifices and all the responsibilities it takes for a mother to be able to make sure that her kid is good, but also have a life as well. Like, you can miss me with that. Miss me, miss me, miss me. And I felt like this was Joy's karma, for real. For her for her reassuming that this man was an intellectual being. He was cool, he was fun. But no, This man don't want to date a woman with children. This man wants to be in a relationship where he can get up and go. And if you don't have it all figured out by the time he comes around, he gonna go ghost. So he doesn't appreciate what a single mother goes through because he doesn't want to date a woman with children. He don't, and I don't know why you would seek out one. So after all of that, that turned off the entire date. She said, "I don't know why I'm tolerating this asshole." While I see my man having a good time, not thinking about me, not noticing what I'm doing because he's over there doing what he's supposed to be doing. Not worrying about you, staying engaging with his date. You, however, thought that this was going to get a rise out of Joshua because you praised about how he's a guy, he had an intellectual conversation. He's a full asshole. Full asshole. But that's what you decided to have a second date with, Joya. Moving on. Then we get to Dr. Stacy and go over the week assignment. This is supposed to be about establishing trust, self-control, self-confidence, and staying engaging with your date. For Kat and Ricky, her second date with Marcus was really nice. And throughout the day, he kept giving her compliments, making her feel noticed. And she has felt consistency from Marcus on 2 days versus then the consistency of Ricky in 2 years. And the fact that he was coming out the gate with compliments, it made her reassure herself that she is, a prize. He was automatically coming out the gate with opening doors, pulling out chairs, all the things that she called out Ricky to do. Now, Dr. Stacy wants to know, what do you hear when she's saying this? What do you feel when she's talking about this? How does it make you feel that another man made her smile? Another man is giving her all the chivalry, the compliments, making her feel special. How does that make you feel? He brushed it off because he felt like hearing all of that, it doesn't change the way that he does things. It doesn't make him want to automatically do things. So in a nutshell, you don't feel no type of way about your girlfriend receiving compliments, energy, chemistry from another man, and it doesn't alarm you to want to fix it. It doesn't alarm you to look at what you haven't been doing. Wow. At that moment, Catherine, read the signs. He don't want a relationship with you. If he doesn't feel the way that another man is giving you energy, another man's making you feel special, feel beautiful, making you smile, and he don't think that he should pick up the pace and step it up, he don't want a relationship with you. He don't feel that way about you. He don't. So the fact that Catherine noticed you don't feel the way about a man making me feel like this, another man's making me feel better, another man's making me feel special, you don't care? No, he don't. He don't. You have a partner who's nonchalant, who don't care about how you feel, who don't care about what you're not getting because he doesn't care about that. He doesn't want it. He wants you to break up with him so he can go on and move on with his life. But he's being less of a man and not saying it right in front. And I think that's where it ended off with the next episode. So at that moment, I'm looking at Ricky like, you are a weak-minded man. Because the fact that you didn't even feel a way that another man is giving your girl who you say you want to be in a relationship with, you want to care about it, but you sure have a funny way of showing it though, bro. Very funny way. But Catherine, again, he don't want you. But that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.